What's up?
What's up, stream? What's up, everybody? Dentacular in the chat already screaming. I love it. Um, it's there's fewer people on screen tonight, and that's okay because we have the Sawft-Clothez Sommelier, Bobby
You had to make
Pease.
room for the extra large guy to come in.
yes. I was like, oh wait, a podcast with two thick boys? We got to make room.
Yeah. We're putting the see you later in that thick statement there. It's
all the carbon
huge.
copies you can handle.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's the best. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm so good, man. Thank you for having me back on to chat and catch up. It's been way too damn long.
Yeah, I was thinking about this before we went live. Has it been a year?
Probably. Yes. Probably close to a year.
You know how you tell your friends we'll hang out, and then you don't, dude, because life. That's what.
I can't even blame COVID for that one.
No, because it's still COVID.
I mean, I want to, but like I can't do it. Damn.
No, I mean, if you did, no one would be like, "Shame on you." It would probably pass muster, but you know.
I've been lurking, man, just in the shadows, casting shadows and living in the shadows.
I mean, you got a big shadow to cast. It must be easy though.
I got a big one, man, a big one. It's been good. Like I've slowed down quite a bit in about every sense of the way, and sure. I got casual hour going full time again, which is before all of us started hanging out. I did that shit for years, and we took a small little hiatus, and those guys got back together, and we've been pumping out shit there. Sarah and I are in the midst of like really big home projects, like bigger than we've ever thought imaginable, and that's super crazy and scary. And then of course trying to navigate work from home for both of us and be safe and responsible. But on top of all that shit,
it's about responsibility. Carry on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard.
No, right? It's really fucking not.
It's not hard at all. I mean, I've been practicing my whole life by avoiding people, staying inside, and playing video games.
Oh, yes.
And so I kind of feel like the fucking Olympics have been happening for the last 6 months, and I'm just going for gold.
Yeah,
like just going for gold.
This shit. Just bringing them all home.
Dude, I haven't wore any pants with fucking buttons for months. I'm not even like I'm pulling that Kevin McAllister and tell him to leave the pizza on the front porch, and then just playing video games. It's been great.
I put on a pair of jeans last week because I was gonna make myself feel like I was doing something. And like 10 minutes out of the house, I was like, this was the biggest fucking mistake. Like, why? Why did I do this? I'm so out of practice. I didn't even bring a belt. So like, not only was it a bad experience, but I was trying to keep track of my pants the whole fucking grocery trip. It was great. It was great.
Man. It's interesting, like the progression that we've taken of like going outside of our house. But on top of that, it's interesting also that we've done nothing but like junk, like not junk food, but like junk TV. And it's just been like those comfort foods.
Sure.
Like we're almost done with Friends again. We've rewatched The Office. We're legitimately just going through like known quantities right now to just veg out. And it's weird too, like being in front of a screen all day long for work and then having your hobby line up with being in front of the screen also is a very weird thing. And so,
I'm very fortunate that I love doing this because like my day is streaming and my only real way to hang out with my friends is then playing games later. And so the way I've made my peace with it is basically streaming stuff I can't play with friends. Apex was a thing for a minute, and like Apex was a lot of fun, but like I took a 2-week break because I was like I play with these people later. And if we get stressed out playing a battle royale all day, and then I'm supposed to hop in and hang, like it's too much tension. So now I'm playing Hades, and that game's sexy as fuck.
God, that game, man.
I don't know if I'm sure you are, but I don't know if any of the listeners are fans of the Waypoint crew. But I went the Patrick Klepek route with this game, where I got a bunch of money on a Steam gift card and bought Pyre and Hades and a bunch of stuff, but those two in particular. Played a bunch of Pyre and then looked at Hades for about 6 months, maybe 9 months. I might have bought it last year, honestly. But Patrick looked at it and went, I'm going to like this game. I'm going to wait till it's 1.0. And I was like, that's a good idea because like I'll let people who care about being involved in the adapting of mechanics do that. And then I'll get it when it's this tightly packaged bundle. So I kicked it on as soon as 1.0 hit and just,
Man, it's made a believer out of me too, because I've always appreciated roguelites a lot more than I enjoyed playing them.
Sure.
And like when I think about the dudes that put out Pyre, the dudes that put out Transistor, Bastion, all that shit over there at Supergiant, like when I heard that they were doing a roguelike, I'm like, well, that doesn't line up with what they do at all. Like these are dudes that tell great stories. These are guys that like make you feel immersed in a world. And like roguelikes, yeah, you can be in the world for sure, but it's kind of in and out, right? You're not
Sure.
really in there long enough, especially if you're bad like I am. You're not in the world long enough to really appreciate it. But holy shit, dude, like I am all in on this. And I was talking because I did the early access. Um, I'm pretty new to having a PC. I built one back in February. And it was one of those situations where I was like, I just want to run through all the shit that I couldn't do if I was on console. And
Sure.
Hades was one of those. And man, I fell in love hard with that game. And it's
Yeah.
been awesome watching it come out. And then when they announced the Switch, I was like, holy shit, wait, this is coming out this year? Because that's going to change a lot of my game of the year talk for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. For sure.
And holy shit, man, that game fucking slams so
It
hard.
fucking whips, dude. And like speaking of telling a world or telling a story and creating a world and it being difficult in roguelikes, I'm not a fan of those games. I played Below
Yeah.
and was like, this is great, and then died and realized I had to start over and was like,
Yep. Yep.
oh no, I don't
Yep.
want to do this.
Yep.
So I went into this like real tentative, but like having a huge appreciation for Supergiant. And like you said, it's very off the specific genre, the mechanics sound like they're going to be very off what they do. And then you start playing
Totally.
and you're like, oh no, this is the summation of all of their parts. This is Bastion's combat and Transistor's storytelling and music and Pyre's like dialogue and like all of those things just slam jammed into one beautiful, smooth, wicked box. And like I did not expect to have a roguelike that has persistence where like I die and then I come back and the people I talk to are like, oh, you got knocked off by Pericles. That sucks, didn't it? And I was like, man, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
I think it's their best work.
It's so good.
And that's a big ass statement, but I don't know. Like they've made me kind of make an about face here and eat some of my own words when it comes to it.
Yeah.
And I think what they've done is just shown what, like you said it. This is them taking all of what they've learned and putting together and being like, all right, we did it. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So I am gonna pick it up on my Switch also when cross save goes live with it.
Yeah.
Because this is something I'd like to be able to take with me for sure. But
a roguelike's perfect for that. Just sit down and throw 15 minutes into a thing and all right, go back.
But like I just want to say, like, fucking they did it. Great job. Proud of them, happy for them. Like I want nothing but the best for those guys.
How does Darren Korb keep making incredible soundtracks? You know what I mean? Like Hans Zimmer has duds. Hans Zimmer has duds. This dude doesn't. They're all fucking wicked. They're all so good.
We always do a traditional like game of the year episode over in the casual hour, but leading up to it, we have more of like our category show. One of my favorite ones is best style because it's so like, I mean, you know it if you see it, right? You can't really explain it, but you know it has style if you see the style.
Sure.
And this game has that in fucking buckets, man. From the soundtrack that you're mentioning to like how good, like I'll never think of Greek gods any other way except for the way Hades has them.
They all look like this now.
I could basically talk about this for the next 2 hours if you wanted to, because I like it that much.
That's fine. We can mix it in. If you guys haven't noticed, this is a video game podcast. It's Bounty Board. It is September 23rd. Because time is a blur. Every day is Blur's Day. And October's almost here. Which fucking sucks because the fall of games is upon us. Spooky for many different reasons. I'm one of your hosts and I've always been here. Lubwub, Caleb. And with me, returning, as we mentioned as soon as we started the show, is the Sawft-Clothez Sommelier, Bobby.
Hey.
We're going to talk about some cool shit. There's some really cool shit. Like, man, I was worried when E3 was like, no, that like this year was going to be weird. And like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it hasn't been weird, but I think that Jeff Keighley, the journalistic powerhouse that man is, put together a series of very good events. And as those events got kicked off, we got to see the rest of the game industry go, oh shit, we can just do this too. And like, I'm a bigger fan of these tailored, short and sweet, here's 60 minutes of like what we want to show you right now. Because it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like we the community have kind of become shareholders in a sense that like they're pitching us their quarterlies in a way that I don't
Yeah.
think we've really seen before, and I'm down. I'm super down.
Whenever we all hung out for E3, a
Oh,
couple years ago,
yes.
year or two, whatever it
It
was,
was last year.
it was God, I have no concept of time
No,
whatsoever.
no.
Um,
Thank God another Prince of
we
Persia is
were
coming out because I needed to forget what time was more.
totally. It's just been cringy as hell. Like these
Yeah,
things are cringy, right? Like
yeah,
usually, like E3, like you hear all the stories about the PAX floor, all that stuff, and you're able to cut through a lot of that bullshit and get to what you want. And I think especially nowadays where like we're conditioned to skip intros, we're conditioned to skip commercials. Like we don't want all of that. We want to have we want to have what we want when we get it, kind of on our terms.
sure,
And like, especially when it comes to new consoles, like, don't muddy the water. And I think that that's already kind of happened this year on like, when are they going to talk? Like, why are they playing it so coy? What's going on here? And I'm thrilled that these events have really evolved in a very short period of time. Like, the amount of like PR gymnastics that have had to happen for these companies to make this work is like not lost on me. And I don't want to shit on anybody that's had to navigate how to do this because I think they've all done a damn good job there. It's been good. I agree. Like I think
yeah,
this is the I don't know, do we go back to what it was? Like this has worked out really well. Or is there a way that this holds hands with bigger events or
sure,
what? Like E3 had a really great exit strategy this year, one way or the other. Because I think that personally speaking, I don't think E3 would have happened one way or the other. And I think that they took a
yeah,
really nice exit with this,
yep.
and it gave the people a lot more freedom to tell their stories the way they wanted to.
Yeah, PlayStation deuced out in like September or October of last year. And then I am
Yeah.
8-bit, the people running it were gone by May.
Hmm.
And it was like, oh. And like, yeah, I think
Keeley
E3,
left it.
yeah, Keeley left with I am 8-bit. He was like, yeah, we're gonna go
Yeah.
do a different thing. Yeah, no, I think E3 was circling the
Yeah.
proverbial event space drain, and I think that this was kind of the nail in the coffin. I do think we'll get E3 back, but it will be different. And
Yeah, for sure.
it might be press only again. It may not be open to the public, which like I'm also fine with because like as much as this year was great, we did miss out on like those events where people the people we like go to for information go to a place and we see the big flashy picture show that they give us and
Right.
then they get to come back 6 days later and go, "Okay, so over the last week we've spent 10 hours playing 7 different things. Here's what it feels like." Um
Yeah,
People got to sit
totally.
down in a Cyberpunk demo last year. Didn't get to play it, but got to sit down in it. And you would have
Right.
assumed this year they would have gotten hands on. And I was looking forward to finding out what that felt like before I bought it.
Yeah, man.
At the same time, we are those people, right? Informing people who
Yeah.
like listening to us what it is. So I'm gonna play it anyway. Um,
But we did also get a chance to play, like at least me personally, because I don't get to go and do these, and I know that in your career you've gotten to go and experience stuff a bit more hands on, which is fucking rad. But I know that like on Steam, they had a lot of demos during these events that you could download for a time, and I thought like, man, this is so cool that like I've never been able to leave, Illinois or Missouri where I grew up to go and experience this stuff, but I can be at home and check out some of these demos that I hear people I really look up to talking about. And I felt more included in some ways this year than I have in years past because I felt like I had more informed information on what was going on with some of that stuff.
sure.
And I wish listed more games this year because of that and having that experience, which I thought was really fucking cool. So, regardless of where people go or what opens up, I think that those types of things are very cool to bring your digital audience a bit more interactive from home
Sure.
to really get that going. I mean, I feel for those developers the most because those are the ones that are going to be shouldering the weight of these events
Yeah.
being closed more than others, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. It's also a really cool time to see people like community managers like get to be on front center stage. You talked a moment about like how awkward these big stage shows are because like
Yeah,
as deep these companies are with talented employees, they can't find somebody that's like passionate and has public speaking skills to often stand on stage and talk about them. And
or be
like
a stereotype.
yeah, yeah. And like watching I mean, every time Ubisoft was on stage, it was like where if there was a drinking game for how many times they said developed or
Yeah,
innovation with like their French act, like that was a thing
I
we did.
know.
It's a thing we did. And instead, the
Yeah.
Ubisoft shows this year specifically, we got to see guys like Yusuf Magid, like who like own the camera space and talk really well, kind of introduce
Yep.
the shows and own that portion of like, yo, you're the community. I'm a community manager. I'm gonna bridge this gap real quick and introduce this. It's really cool to like these companies have these people. Let them work. Let them do their thing, and it's great seeing it like actually happen.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I think that it's been at sometimes really well executed, a little bit rough, but it's been more raw than it ever has been and more free flowing. Like there's like you didn't know what some of these companies were going to do almost a week out.
Yeah,
And I mean, we're going to talk about Xbox a lot tonight, but I got to point at them and be like, yo, these dudes unfortunately had some stuff leak out and they had to make some tough decisions a lot quicker to get big news
yeah,
put out for what they did. But in this day and age, they faced and headed into the storm. And I think it's going to be something that we talk about for years to come. Like, hey, you remember how the Xbox One S leaked? Or I'm
yeah,
sorry, the Series S leaked?
yeah. We talked about that a
Like
couple
all
weeks
that.
ago. Like the fact that it leaked at like 1 in the morning, and by
Yeah.
2 in the morning, Xbox was like confirming it, and
Hmm.
that they responded with like their first tweet was a tweet reply to the leak. It was just the eyeballs looking,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
like they're so like finger on the pulse. This is what the community looks like, talks like, acts like, sees. Let's be a part
Yeah.
of that. And yeah, we talked about their agility and like just being like, "Yep, it's out. Let's own it," and then announcing it at
Yeah,
like
man.
2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, which is, it's so good. It's so good just
I,
seeing that like willingness to be like, "This is the culture. Let's do it."
it's never been better time, man. Like, I think there's been a lot of like video game. This is like a very deep conversation that we're not going to get into tonight, but like video games has always been a form of escapism, right? Always. And you immerse yourself into these worlds. And for me, especially like knowing that I am a bit more confined to my space currently, like the wanderlust that I'm putting myself into, like I'm playing games that I normally wouldn't play to get a different perspective than I normally would have. And I found myself playing a lot more games that like I had to make sure I was in a good headspace for, just
Sure.
given like all the shit that's going on. And then the news, I say it's been difficult the last few days if you wanted to get some of this new shit, and we can talk about that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's never been better to be a fan of video games and the people making them.
100%. 100%. Speaking of events, being online and adjusting to things, we'll move into our first news thing. News will be short because the fourth and final item is going to be what we're going to talk about. But first, Blizzard has announced that BlizzCon Line is that I hate. I
That's
love
not good.
everything about this year, for games, except for just studios and publishers being unable to name things that make in ways that make any sense. Xbox is a
Totally.
criminal in this specific regard. But anyway, Blizzard announced BlizzCon Line, which is an online only BlizzCon for 2021. So like,
Fandom.
yeah,
DC's Fandom.
Blizzard fandom. Yeah, exactly.
God damn it, this is bad.
the
Ugh, I hate it. I hate this.
it's like I get it and I'm glad you're doing it, but just name it anything else.
Yeah, man.
Like
I
a room
mean,
of people decided on a pun
they just
more
went,
than
fuck
once.
it. I mean, hey, what else are they gonna do? Fuck it. They're
Yeah.
gonna have to show up. It's
Yeah.
not like they can come here.
Yeah, it's
They'll
not like they're
come.
gonna not watch it because we named it something dumb. So go ahead.
It's like the one guy that showed up for the Zoom call earlier. They're like, "What do you think we should do today?" I don't know. BlizzCon line, maybe. Who cares? Oh, that's great. Yes,
One
yes.
guy in the back was like, "God damn it, Terry, you're a genius."
Yeah, he just like shuts off his camera, goes and pours whiskey over his Cheerios, and just says, "That's it. I'm done."
Pours whiskey over his Cheerios.
I'm done today.
A spoonful of Cheerios and a cigar. Just like the day's over.
Yeah. I'm fucking done. He went to 13 years of college and gets outshone by this guy that says BlizzCon line. Fuck it, I'm done.
I've
Get me
dedicated my
outta here.
career to marketing, and you just shit that out. Ugh.
He's now his boss.
Uh,
I work for you now, sir. My mistake. I'll be at the coffee. Let me know if you need
do you
anything.
need a drink? Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
order you some Starbucks Postmates. It'll be great.
Yeah. You just
um,
change this fucking Zoom background up the shit pile from Jurassic Park. That's all it is.
it's either that or it's a graveyard. It's one of two things.
Yeah,
And the
one of two
closest
things.
headstone says "My dreams." Um, to read the
Done.
post from Polygon, BlizzConline will feature an online cosplay exhibition for fans. That's just Instagram, guys.
That's
Players,
that's just OnlyFans, but without the rules.
it's just
That's all
only,
it is.
That's just
It's just
PG.
OnlyFans with extra steps.
It's just PG-13 OnlyFans, guys.
That's like the Sadie Hawkins dance that you would see at like a Marriott for a BlizzCon line.
if video game cosplay can have a cotillion online, it's this.
Oh man,
Players can dress themselves as any Blizzard character. Are you going to tell us what
don't like that.
Cosplay is? Because of the
Don't
digital
like that at all.
format, Blizzard will open the cosplay competition to pets for the first time. That's cool. Willing dozens. Okay, this is written poorly. Willing dozens of pugs dressed as Illidan Stormrage into existence. I don't need any of this. They'll also host a digital storytelling contest, so fan fiction, art contest, and general talent show for fans during BlizzConline. It seems like BlizzConline is their excuse for making BlizzCon press only. BlizzConline looks like, hey, this is where all the fans are going to hang out and do shit while the rest of the like big shows going on, and we have a bunch of pressers. And like that's cool. Again, I've said this a moment ago. Like E3 should do this.
Yeah, make this more inclusive, make this more of an event where it doesn't feel like I'm isolated watching something, because I think, man, I've watched like videos from theaters when Cap catches the hammer and those final moments of Endgame, and just listening to people react together in large crowds and trying to, get that dopamine flowing. And I think that you got to do something to make people feel like they are part of a bigger experience than just sitting in front of like a screen. And so if they can do that, like all joking aside, like I think that that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of conversations, maybe not throughout the industry, but definitely amongst my group of friends, and I think we've even spoken of it, of like more colloquial gaming spaces becoming a thing. Sports bars that aren't just football, baseball, basketball, soccer, but like have esports, have nights where people show up for the Overwatch League fantasy draft, shit like that. And I think like next year and BlizzConline, all these things are opening the playing field for people that have event spaces that want to go, okay, we can't go to E3, but we can watch the big shows, the Microsoft event, there won't be a Sony event because they don't care anymore. But the big shows, and have a room full of people, and we'll get those things like you're saying, those rooms full of people screaming when Steve pulls Mjolnir out of the air.
Totally.
Hopefully. I mean, like, I can't imagine that not happening. And like just to remember back to last year's E3 and my entire living room being just a deafening roar when Keanu Reeves showed up in the Cyberpunk presentation.
Yeah.
Oh, like I wish I'd been
insane.
recording that event, but how could you know it was coming, right? Like
nobody did.
Yeah, and like we had one of those things, those moments of like, I'm going to remember, probably for a very long time, us screaming and cheering and being happy, and like the reaction to Keanu being like, "No, you're
beautiful,
you're breathtaking," like
breathtaking, yes,
like. That's going to be there. And like, I think that we'll see more and more of those things pop up as like this becomes a more isolated, in quotations.
Man, I feel so bad for Spirit Fair having to follow that now. Shit. Like, as much as I love that video game, knowing that they had to go up on stage after fucking Keanu Reeves, like, it's a miracle that people are even playing that game, knowing that
I didn't remember Spirit Fair from E3. I will say that. No one.
Same.
I didn't. When it came out, I was like, oh yeah, this looks dope, and watched some stuff. But like, everyone's brain was in that, like, what Keanu Reeves was just here.
Yeah, and it was Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, it wasn't just Keanu. It was like the biggest game everyone's been looking forward to.
Yeah,
and
so
Hollywood's like friend next door showing up on stage.
Oh my god, so good.
Keanu Reeves is like the embodiment of wholesome energy, and I love it. Um, Moving on, Destiny 2 had a new trailer come out yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Blur's
2 days
Day.
ago.
That shows off Europa in a little more detail, which is an icy, watery, non-Euclidean wasteland / fantasy land of aliens and explosions and magic. Destiny is like if fireworks were a game. I don't understand it. Like I get it.
You're not a fan, right?
I am a fan. Like this is me in awe. It sounds dismissive, but it's me in awe of how Destiny has somehow made a thing that's so smooth and so pretty and also so fucking nonsensical. And so fun to play. Like mechanically they're a blast. Do I like the grind? No. If you were referring to me being not a fan of anything, it would be that. Like I had 3 max characters when Destiny 2 came out, and then Forsaken ended, and I went, I don't know if I have the patience or time to continue to devote 20 hours a week to this. And there's other stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I've actually taken a little bit of a hiatus. I'm a huge fan of Destiny. I think I'm talking from like Destiny till now, right? Like this generation, I've got to be getting close to 1,000 hours in that game.
Sure.
Destiny 1 and 2, that is. And I've always do this before the big release, which has gotten pushed back. So I'm taking an even longer break. But I usually give myself a month to 60-day break from Destiny, because as soon as the big new shit drops, I just like only focus on that for a bit.
Yeah, that becomes your existence for a little bit.
But unfortunately, it's now, because usually it's September. That's when it comes out. September, traditionally kind of a dull month.
Sure.
But now it's like sandwiched between Legion, Assassin's Creed, and then a week later, fucking Cyberpunk, which has been my most anticipated game for years now.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how I'm going to juggle that, but I will figure it out.
I remember specifically thinking, oh, thank God they delayed it. I'll have time to get to it. And then realizing where they put it and being like, great, cool, fuck you guys.
I know. Where do you play it at, by the way?
I've been playing it on Xbox, but as cross save is a thing, I'm debating playing it on PC, because my PC right now is stronger than an Xbox One an Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
it's not gonna. My computer will not do ray tracing.
Okay.
So I was one of those people in line at 6 a.m. 2 days ago to get my Xbox Series X pre-ordered, and I did. We got it.
You got it. You got it. Nice.
We went to my local GameStop. Me and Tech. We were there at 6 a.m. We were the first 2 people there.
Hell yeah, man! That's awesome.
We each secured ours, but that's because like I have a library of 300 games, and a computer I don't plan on spending a bunch of money on making future-proof yet. So I'll grab a system that does it.
So this is weird for me, and I don't want to get before the discussion that I'm sure we'll be having later on, but I am going to get a PlayStation 5. I've been primarily, my Xbox One X has been my main squeeze for a few years now. But as I mentioned previously, I built this PC, and it's a bit of a beast as it currently is. But I've been like daily refreshing lists trying to get a 3080, and just beating my ass handed to me online by the robots.
Sure.
But I did get my cousin. I secured him a Series X. I may upgrade to an S down the line, but for the time being, my plan was get rid of my PlayStation 4 Pro, get the PS5, keep my One X just to have a console for Xbox if there's something I would need there. But I think that what they've done with the Xbox on PC has been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I also grabbed a Fire tablet, and I've got that thing all set up now to do streaming with xCloud. So I feel like I'm covered as far as Xbox goes. It's just weird not to be that person in line like you were this year.
Sure. Yeah. And it felt weird for me to be in line. So like, there was a moment where Tech and I were like, shit, we're lined up for a thing. And like, not only is that weird this year, in the year of our Lord 2020, but like we couldn't think of the last time we'd done it.
Nintendo Switch.
Okay. I didn't get a Switch, and I don't get physical games really. So like, and movies anymore aren't things you
Yeah.
line up for, especially if you go to theaters that let you reserve your seat. You show up when the movie starts because you can just walk in.
Yeah, man. I think that the Switch was the last big piece of tech I lined up for, and then before that, and both people, Johnny from the show, me and Johnny, we went and got the Switch, and then we also went and got the PlayStation 4 because I had jumped from Team Xbox at the launch of this generation based off of how poorly it was handled,
Mm-hmm.
and went to PlayStation, and then when they redid the S console, when they came out with the One S and how that was, I grabbed one of those, and that was when I went back to Microsoft when Phil started to really right the ship,
Right.
in my opinion. And I haven't looked back. Like, I have PlayStation for a handful of exclusives. I only use my PlayStation for first party Sony games. That's it.
Yep. It's a
And
sexy exclusive box right now for me.
yep, yep, that's it.
Yep.
Like, and I don't want to shit on them too much because they've made some of my favorite games this generation. But anything else I've done through Xbox, and that's if I was buying a console, like if I didn't have the PC, the Series X, I love everything about that box. I'm so happy for you getting one. I'm happy for my cousin getting one. I wish more people were able to get one right now. It's been not great
Yeah.
hearing that.
Yeah. That's been a whole fucking process. And
Yeah.
at this point, I saw someone tweet about it. They were like, so PlayStation had a bunch of issues and Xbox had a bunch of issues, but it wasn't the Xbox website or the PlayStation website alone. It was Target, Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, like all of
Yeah.
those. And so they were like, maybe, just maybe, we need to hold our retailers responsible for building portals that can sustain high volume a little better than we should be upset with
Look,
just the release itself as like a whole broad stroke.
let me get your hot take on this, man, because you're somebody that's been doing this shit for a long time too. I mean, you've worked retail for a while. I've worked retail for over a decade. Like, we've been a part of big shit. Like, we've been on both sides of this. Okay.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you know that, I know that. I personally think in the last 2 weeks, right, between Nvidia, Sony, and Microsoft, and all these other fuckers that were carrying these things,
Sure.
I've never seen anything that was handled worse in my entire life when it came to being a consumer, just trying to spend your money to buy something that you care about.
So yeah, hot take moment. I've been being at a place in line to buy it, it went fine. It
Yeah.
went fine. When everybody else had to go online and when many people decided that they were just going to do it online because everything's online now, I, having had 6 years experience looking at what happens when Comic-Con tickets go on sale, which there's only
Yep.
250,000 tickets for that. And there were
Yeah.
millions of pre-orders, right?
Yep.
For Xbox. Thinking of what that process looks like and knowing it's an entire shit show. I knew when like I had friends that were like, we're gonna do the online thing. I was like, it's not gonna go well. It's just not. So
Yeah.
like, as much as I agree that like it may have appeared to be mishandled, I'm also on the side of understanding that like it's almost literally impossible to properly stress test servers for events like this. Like, I don't know if it's a lack of technology or if it's a lack of um compatibility of technologies. I don't know what that is specifically, but like we see it when games release, right? Like when Gears of War came out in September, servers the first 2 nights were shit because it was on Game Pass for the first time.
Right.
And the studio wasn't expecting 5 million people to be on in the first 10 minutes. And so they were like,
Sure.
fuck, we were figuring it out. And so like, yes, they should have, sorry. Yes, they should have been expecting a large number of people to be there. At the same time, I don't know if they had the ability to properly prepare. And that's why I brought up that tweet that was like, look at Walmart and Target and Best Buy and Amazon for these problems, because like it wasn't just one outlet. Everyone had that problem. And
Dude, when
yeah.
Walmart started slinging the PS5,
Fuck, dude,
like they were
such a mess.
they were the first ones, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody knew this was coming out. I am so legitimately concerned for anybody who is sleeping well at night thinking that they've got a lockdown PS5 from Walmart that night.
Yeah.
I legitimately am. Like, I think it's fucking crazy. I don't know how they're going to come across these when Sony hadn't even got their raffle out there yet for this shit. Like,
Yeah, Walmart just did it ahead of schedule. Not
they fucking Leroy Jenkins that launch.
Yes, they did.
In a very big way. And
look, I wish there was a way to penalize fucking Walmart, but there's not. Right? Like, you need them. They're essential at this point for business.
I'm sitting here like, I've worked retail, so I have like a big brain understanding this shit. Like, I'm just saying it's been frustrating, right? And I think that this has been super fucking hard for a lot of people who are just trying to log on. Like, I will say scalpers and bots can go fuck themselves.
Yes.
Because that's been terrible. And for people who are just trying to like get a fucking W here, right? Like, give me a W in 2020 with everything else on fire. I mean, I just want to play video games that look really pretty. Let me do that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's shitty because like we have no idea how much COVID has impacted like production. So how many systems they were able to have for pre-order is up in the air, and neither company is letting you know. We have some details that like PlayStation didn't make as many all digitals.
I mean, that's
like the all digitals were the ones that sold out first because people are like Sony, come on, man. People are going digital. Like, that should be the one you bank on.
If you're making every 2 out of 10 a digital box, that's $100 less. Maybe just fucking flip that around the other way.
Yeah.
Because I'll go back to the Xbox 360, and there was 2 editions that launched. There was the one that came with the 20 gig hard drive, and it had the media remote. It was the more expensive of the 2. It was $100 more. When I went to my local Walmart back in 05, 06, whenever that was, and I picked that up, they had 10 boxes that night at Walmart, and 2 of the boxes were more expensive. The other 8 were the cheaper ones. Now it's flipped a bit. More people wanted the more expensive one because it came with the headset, the remote, the hard drive. But just be aware that, especially given the time that we're in, people are going to want, like, no fucking Blu-ray player is worth $100 to anybody right now.
Sure.
It's just not. It's just not. And considering that the game itself is just a fucking license key, a physical key that you're putting into your box to download a game. That's all it's doing. Like, you still need internet for these games. It's not like you're saving and cutting any fucking corners by having a disk drive on it. So I think that the time is different. Like, people are like, well, what about people in rural areas? They're not fucking downloading these updates. They're not downloading 100 gig fucking COD updates and things of that nature. Digital is where it's at. It has been for a while. I think that it's a real fucking dick move. I'm sorry. It's a dick move to not put more of the cheaper box out there. Like, that's what people want.
Yeah, and I think
come on.
I mean, we've had the conversation, I know, of how in the last like 3 years PlayStation has somehow seemed to forget what it means to like take your community into consideration. Like, with them no longer doing PlayStation experiences and skipping E3 and being
it feels a lot like PS2 era Sony.
Yeah. It's yes. It like, I got goosebumps even because like that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, PS2 crushed. So when the PS3 was coming, they were like, "Don't worry, you're gonna want it," which is a dangerous.
Get a second job.
Yeah,
get a second job if you want this thing.
Like
the infamous line. And look, like, I don't want to shit on them because like Microsoft they're the ones that have to prove again. They've done this before. Can they do that again? And are they even trying to? Is the thing that like I keep asking myself. Every day I see some new news. Every day I see some oh shit.
Evening.
We have a third person in the house. What's up, Tech Supreme?
What's up, everybody?
Oh, how you doing? We're just hanging out talking about video games and shit because that's what we do.
Hell yeah. Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fashionably.
I'm just so happy to see you.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I was bummed. I was like, oh, I don't get to see Tech tonight, and then here he is.
Yeah.
And Al was right.
It was an 8 p.m. disco nap that went way longer than it's supposed to.
Hey, man, napping is important, and time, as we've discussed, is impossible right now. So fuck it. It's fine. Who cares? We're just hanging out, talking the shit. We were talking about PlayStation and their inability to stock systems per what people are going to want, and how they made less of the all digital system, and that the all digital system is what everybody fucking wants. And how shitty that is.
Call me a snob, man, but like first of all, like I haven't been on the show for a while, so let me just say this much: I think that the PlayStation 5 is the ugliest console that has ever been produced.
Homie,
It's pretty bad.
And
it's a
pretty
fucking
bad.
router. It's a fucking router.
It looks like a humidifier. Yeah, it was.
The Atari had wood panels. It's hard to be worse than that.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 5's trying.
Yeah, they are trying.
I think that on top of it, like already being a bit, sour to look at, putting that booty on it with a disk drive is just not a good look. It looks so bad with a disk drive.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that when they mocked this up and pitched it, the disk drive's the first one they showed. They're like, fuck it, we better keep it on there for another year.
This system just reeks. People in a room looking at it and being like, it's gorgeous. People will want it. Instead of like, how do we make a thing that's efficient?
I know.
And the Xbox people gave it a lot of shit.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%. Unless those big walls, because that's how big they are heat sinks. Like the Xbox people give it a lot of shit for looking like a mini fridge, but like if anybody understands PC cooling, making it square with a circular vent, like that thing's
it looks powerful,
cool. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It looks powerful.
Yeah,
I love the look of it. The PlayStation 5 looks like a watered down version of Thorn from Destiny. It just looks like
no, it does. It does. It does. They're like, what
it's got the same barrel as Thorn, man.
Have you seen the size comparison mock-ups they have? It's almost as big as 30-inch TVs, like standing upright.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really?
It's bigger than the original Xbox One standing up. It's like 2.5 inches taller than the original Xbox One.
Yeah.
And it's wider.
So I built this desk for my PC setup, and when I was trying my hardest to figure out, because I got 2 shelves for an Xbox and a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying my
on the floor.
Oh, it is. Like it's probably going to be. I've got a NZXT case for my PC, and like I'm already looking at this. Like you're going to look tiny here in a few weeks, months, whenever I end up getting one of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. Like I'm getting one of those. Like I'll talk shit all day long because they're going to get my money, and I can. But if they can start to bring their stuff over to PC sooner, I might scale that back a bit.
Sure.
But
I'm not getting a PS5 until God of War comes out. Horizon, and I might not get it before.
Horizon's a big one for me.
Horizon's coming to PS4.
Yeah, but I want to see that on a nice looking system for sure.
Yeah, sure. I have a beefy PlayStation, so like I get that the PS4 is not going to be as powerful, but also like God of War, like Horizon Zero Dawn's very good. Don't get me wrong. Horizon Forbidden West, I assume, will also be very good and very pretty. But when we talked about this maybe last week. Yeah, last week, where when you have an event and you show off Miles Morales and then Final Fantasy and Deathloop and Horizon Forbidden West as 4 of like the biggest of the maybe 6 to 10 games they showed.
Right.
And I can get all of those on the current system or PC. Like Final Fantasy 16 is going to be on PC. Deathloop's going to be on PC. All right, cool. Don't need a PS4.
Deathloop's going to be on Game Pass, homie.
Deathloop's going to be on Game Pass now. Yeah. I don't need a PS5 for either of those. And then Miles Morales is going to be on PS4. And like, yes, it's going to look better on PS5. But I also know that like Marvel Spider-Man looked really, really good to me on my PS4 Slim. Sure. And like, I didn't have a problem with it. And I'm playing on a monitor that I don't need 4K on anyway. So
right.
Like, yeah, and like if they port God of War to PC, then there's a chance that God of War goes PC as well.
Sure. Then which I think that makes sense, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and Sony said like in an earnings call a couple months ago, like we are going to be making an effort to make more of our titles, our exclusive titles, available on PC to pad our earnings. Which like that means like Horizon's already there, Death Stranding's already there. We know that Final Fantasy and Deathloop are going to be there. Like,
but dude, like, why on earth would they not do that? Like, and I don't understand for the life of me why people get bent out of shape about Sony games going to PC when like Microsoft overnight put all their games on people's Androids.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want your games? Like, as somebody, if you're that invested in a brand, like if you care that much to go online on find a thread and bitch and moan about why they're taking away your exclusive games. Like if you really cared about PlayStation the way that you claim, you'd be celebrating this. But what you care about is being exclusive in your own eyes.
Right.
And like, I think that's fandom at its shittiest level. It's gatekeeping. It's fucking stupid. I hate that shit so much.
I remember seeing a video when Horizon got announced that it was coming to PC. I seen a video that was a kid like screaming and like throwing his PS4 out in the trash, and it was like,
yeah,
homie, you don't.
That sounds like PlayStation fans.
It does. Though.
Why would they do that shit? Like
every argument I've gotten to from on a console war level was with a PlayStation fan.
Yeah.
So this aligns with that completely.
Yep.
It just makes no sense to me that people would be that bent out of shape to where they would not want. Like I'm looking at Aloy right now. She's right there on my wall. I want everybody to know her. I love her. I think she's fantastic.
The more places that people can play that.
Right. Everybody wins, man. Like, we got to get off these hills. Like, you can like what you like and you can dislike what you don't. But like, when you try to limit other people because of like what they bought into, they didn't know that Horizon was going to be a thing. They had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
They were probably looking for Crash Bandicoot and Nathan Drake back in the day. Like, that's what they were hoping for.
For sure.
God of War, Kratos. And then those are the same people that got all bent out of shape when he was serious and no longer just this maniac swinging blades around. When he actually like had a fucking story, people got upset about that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's one of those things that like it sounds like we're surprised, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but like it also sounds a lot like what PlayStation's MO's been. They've been fighting against.
You can't sit at our table.
Yes, like if you want to play game, like people should want to play Fortnite on PlayStation. As an argument,
you can't play with people.
As an argument against cross-platform, like yo, get the fuck out of here.
How that wasn't enough for people. Like if you care about what you're doing. Right. If you care about, especially like on a battle royale, like if you care about competition, like open it fucking up. Yeah. Like you can be the biggest fish in a small pond all day long. But like, are you concerned that people might be better than you on other platforms? Is that what it comes down to? Like, why is that a big deal to you?
Yeah.
And like,
I remember reading that. Oh, go ahead.
No. I just think like Phil said it best when he said, we don't care where you play or who you play with. We just want you to play. And I think that that's a huge, huge statement for like, where it's at. Yes, getting into pissing matches with people over console wars is a good ass time. It's as old as the internet is. But I think that at the end of the day, like this is something that everybody should be able to do. Like video games are that powerful. They're the best form of narrative, best storytelling.
Yep.
Like I would not be sitting here talking to you two if it wasn't for video games. So for that, I'm super fucking happy, right?
We're not cool enough to talk to.
No, I'm just saying like I wouldn't know you guys without games.
I knew what you meant. I was taking the piss out of you. No, I remember reading months ago a thing that was like Phil Spencer went to Sony and was like, let's talk about getting Master Chief Collection on PlayStation. And Sony was like, nah. And like that just feels like the Sony fanboy mood.
It's all about business too, though. Like, because the reason why Sony didn't want to play with anyone because they were the leaders for so long. Like, they were outselling Xbox for so many years. So when it came to doing the cross-platform and the things, they're like, why would we? We don't want to. You know,
Sure.
like it's a business. Same reason why they don't want to give away Halo because it's a business,
Sure.
and that's how they make. You know, it's not even about video game fan service at that point.
Yeah,
with those certain
that's
decisions.
True. That's true.
Yep, and PlayStation's had problems with like leadership over the last year. So like, who knows what's going on in that bullpen.
Hey, Caleb, really quick. Sarge just hopped in here. I just want to say hi to Sarge. I miss you, man. I was hoping to see you tonight. But I'm happy. I'm happy you're in the chat. Hope you're doing good, man.
Yeah. Also, Sarge,
don't be mad at me.
Tech popped in recently. If you want to pop in, like, power to it. I'm not opposed to people showing up whenever they want to show up for a get together. Like, let's do it. Not whenever they. I didn't mean that as like a negative. That wasn't like no.
I felt bad enough, dude.
Whenever you're able to show up.
I literally just woke up. As I woke up, I said, "Oh shit." Have you ever had like you woke up and you said something? I woke up and said, "Oh shit."
It's the absolute worst.
That just happened.
Sorry, I don't want to make anyone feel like that at all.
No,
I've done that for work.
It's just good to hang out.
Like, I'm gonna take a nap, and then woken up and been like, "Fuck."
Oh shit.
He said, "Say less."
Say less, he says, and then shows up.
What's up?
Hello.
There he is.
Hi, fellers.
We're all here. It's like we've all.
It worked.
We've all been waiting for this moment. I have to move
You,
name
you,
tags.
you sure know how to make a boy feel welcome.
We wanted to stagger
Can't
their
see my face,
entrances
bro.
to make it to optimize the emotional impact. That's what it was,
No.
Bobby. We wanted you to be able
No.
to deal with talking to me for a bit, and then Tech, and then now we're all here.
I love it. I love it. This is great. It's like at a party when people are just slowly rolling in. Coolers over there, food's in the kitchen. Make yourself at home.
Food's right
We'll
here.
all be over here hanging
Talking
out.
about it. It ain't in the
It's like
kitchen.
food's right here.
What do you got
Yeah.
there? Is that like some?
That's
you
some
think
shit
peanut
for
butter?
Mascatoli,
RD.
man. No, that's the Mascatoli, my dude.
I thought it was stuff where I did.
Oh man, I mean, to be completely honest, for those of us who used to go to parties, no one goes to parties now. People do, but they're
No.
assholes.
This is the
for
most
those-
I've hung out with people.
Sure. For those of us who used to go to parties, the people that show up later are the people that that are cooler. So like,
Yeah.
Bobby and I showed up to a party that
Damn, I'm
starts
the
at 9
coolest.
at 8:30.
Yeah, I'm sitting here eating fucking mini corn dogs and hot pockets, waiting on people to show up with Caleb, and then you all show up with muscatoli. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Mascatoli
now?
and fucking Crown Apple. I mean, let's
Oh
go.
my
dude.
Live your best life, bro.
Amazing.
I'm out of cast. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about
Oh
cast. You
shit,
know,
I'm not even in it.
don't worry about cast. I'll just pull audio from the stream. It's fine. At this
Okay.
point, who cares? Also, cast messed up. Like you joined Tech, and then it bumped you immediately, and then it said Bobby's audio recorded, and was complete. And I was like, he's still
Yeah, he
here.
wasn't in there
damn.
when I hopped in. I was gonna ask questions.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're agile. We're agile. Like Xbox. Speaking of Xbox,
Be like water.
Be like water. Bruce Lee, man. A gift. Speaking of Xbox, they bought Bethesda this week. And that's not small. It was a $7.5 billion sale.
That's
which
Dr.
is-
Evil numbers, man.
That, I mean, like, if we're gonna talk about a company flexing, like PlayStation beat the shit
night
out of
before
Xbox
their shit
One.
goes on sale too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's such a flex.
PlayStation beat the fuck out of Xbox when it came to console sales, but they're not making $7.5 billion acquisitions arrive out of nowhere. So yeah, like Doom,
I want to know more, man. I want to know more about it.
Doom and Wolfenstein, the reason why first-person shooters are big in the West, and then Skyrim and Fallout, the reason why Western RPGs are big, and then the Dishonored, like the revival of immersive sims, they're all on Xbox's team now, and that's not that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's fucking oof.
There's been a lot of offline conversations about this shit with my friends.
I want to know how many
It's crazy.
Xbox units they had to sell, so I know how fast they recouped a lot of that money.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they don't make their money on the units though. That's not their sole income.
That's true.
Yeah,
So,
they're making their money off of Game Pass, and like, there's
Yeah.
now a reason for, I would argue, 10 million more people to get Game Pass.
But I think too, like, so from like a pure dollars and cents perspective, right? Like, and I don't know much about this, but I wonder how much Bethesda, like that brand, is worth on an annual level. Because I would
Sure.
assume it's probably worth more than what they were getting from an interest level on that 7.5 in the bank. And so even if it's just a bit more than what they were getting from an interest level, that's still like from a dollars and cents only. Like, if let's say that they didn't change a damn thing for Bethesda and Bethesda continued to do exactly what they do, you get to play these games on Game Pass, whatever. But even if it was just Bethesda operating at the same dollars and cents that they had been, that's probably making more money yearly than what that money was accruing in interest just sitting
Yeah,
wherever it was sitting.
Sure.
And so, like,
you've
just-
also got the possibilities for, like, I heard someone talking about this recently, like, there might not have been a tableable argument to have like a Prey 2 at Bethesda. But now that Microsoft's funding it and letting them do it, like those smaller, like, look at what Obsidian did. Like, Obsidian
Mhm.
makes RPGs, and then they made Grounded. And Grounded's the most wacky and zany thing for that studio to do out of hand. And it's great. And like, they've come out and said it's because Microsoft was like, here's money. Don't worry about who's going to keep the lights on. We got the power bill. Just make whatever you fucking want. And so, like,
I
think
love
it'll-
Grounded too. I like that game's good.
yeah, Grounded's dope. Big learning curve. Also, don't leave sap lights lit at night because it attracts
Oh yeah,
fucking
fuck
mites
your whole world up.
or whatever those things were. Yeah, but that game's
Got to
great.
build up in the sky, man. Build up way up in the sky.
We did, but we couldn't get to the house because there was like, what are those things that attacked us, Sarge? They look like
Oh, it was
centipedes.
it was the
Starts with an M, doesn't it?
the larva
Larva were attacking us. And Bobby, when I say
by hordes of larvae.
when I say it was
just coming out
horde,
of the
we'd show up
abyss.
and there was like 10, and we'd be like, all right, we got to kill these. And we'd turn around and there'd be 10 more like, coming to help. We had to pick our
Man,
whole base up and
sounds
take all
like
the
people
lights
trying
out.
to run these pre-orders online.
Damn.
But Tech and I got in an argument with a guy. Tech, I'm glad you're here. Now we can share this story. Tech and I were in line for this with a bunch of people, and it was a blast. And it was one of those moments where you're like, oh, fuck. Lining up for shit's cool because it's a bunch of people in the same place for the same reason. And we can talk about shit. But there was this cop that showed up to, I guess, keep the peace just in case, who tried to make his best case for buying a PS5 and selling it for $5,000 online. And everyone was like, you're an asshole.
What?
You know what's funny?
What?
I was watching a YouTube video today about the PS5 pre-orders, and someone was like, "Yeah, someone's gonna sell it for $5,000." Like that exact number was repeated, which I was like, "People really think this?"
What?
And then he
The
was
thing
like,
is, somebody will probably buy it.
that was his argument. He was like, am I an idiot though if someone buys it? And I was like, no, you're not an idiot, but it doesn't make you less of a dipshit or an asshole. Like, you're still a jerk.
Man,
Well,
some of the crazy.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say some of the craziest shit
you
that I
go
saw was when I mentioned the 360 launch earlier.
Mhm.
They had 10 at my local Walmart when I was waiting in line. I was number one. I had been there all damn day. They had 8 chairs lined up back in the layaway area at Walmart. And I remember this dude came with his girlfriend, and she was just standing and sitting there in one of the chairs. And this guy walks in, sees all the chairs are full, looks at her and goes, "I'll give you $250 for your chair." And pulls out the cash, gives it to her, and she just like lost her mind, loved it, went out and did whatever. And that was like, for me, when I got to see firsthand, like, oh shit, like this is like a bigger deal than like maybe what I was expecting. I knew it'd be hard to get, but I didn't think people would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little did I know that robots would be beating me to the punch on all this shit and selling it for a lot more money nowadays. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, Tech and I had a brief conversation after or before a stream that was like, are we going to go get this in person? And it was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, we'll get there at like 8. And then I got actionable intel of the stock that was going to be at the store we were planning on going to. And it was like, all right, Tech, we might need to be there at 6. And he was like, all right. And
Say
so
less.
I showed up with
Say less.
two quick trip breakfast sandwiches, and with the GameStop's right next to a fucking Starbucks, so we were set, and we just hung out and shot the shit.
I was
It was a blast.
I was out there about 5:50 in the morning. I pulled up,
Yeah.
nobody was there, and I was happy.
Yeah.
How long were you guys in line for?
From 6 to
hours.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Tech
Not bad.
shouted in his car. He pulled up in the parking lot. Nobody there. Say less.
Say less. Thank you.
Can you
Oh, dude.
share how many, like now that it's all done and over with, can you share what the levels were, what they had?
Yeah, so they had 7 X's and 2 S's.
Which
And
ended
then
up
when they
being-
opened the store, it ended up being 6
Six
X's and 2 S's in their system.
And you guys both got X's, right?
Mhm.
Cool.
And they handed out tickets about 15 minutes before the doors opened, and like there was no secrecy about the number of systems they had. It was posted on the door, and people were showing up and not looking at the door, and us up front were kind of like, this is the group. Like, we knew there were 7 people here and there were 9 systems, and it turned out to be 8 systems. And so when they handed out tickets, I took he gave us the X tickets, and I gave it to the people in line, and then handed us the S tickets, and I handed it to the 2 people, and the like 10 people behind them were like, that's it? And I was like, yes.
And they knew, a lot of them knew that.
Bro.
But a lot of them knew, but they were just waiting for some reason. Like, I don't know, hoping someone's card gets declined. Like, I don't.
So you
was
guys were at
happy.
GameStop, right?
Yeah.
Now, did the GameStop honor the access for that? I know that they were doing like their own financing options, but did they offer that for Microsoft if they wanted to do that?
No, if you want
Xbox?
to, I don't know how the Xbox All Access works. I don't know if you can do it from GameStop. I think you have to do it through a portal that like the Microsoft Store or online can offer.
It's through Citizens One.
Right.
And what fucked up thing happened for a few people I knew was when they tried to do that, because that's an insane value for what you're getting. Like I think it's a
like
great
$30,
deal.
$32 a month to get the Series X and Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's dope.
You get approved for that, which is great. But the problem is that a lot of people were getting approved for it without hardware to attach it to. And so now you've got these people that have 30 days to get an Xbox at a retailer that offers that service to tie that to, or else they're going to have to go through another credit check on that if they want to do that again, which I mean, might not be a big deal for a lot of people, but it's still kind of fucked up to think about that now they, on top of already like, which I don't know if there's going to be levels to get in 30 days. It sounds like it's pretty tight right now.
Yeah, that's no good. I don't know why that would be a thing. That seems like it would be, oh, hey, okay, you've got it in your shopping cart, and then pick a payment option, and then that's how you do it. But
well, the problem is that they were selling out while they were in carts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have a friend who had an Xbox One or Xbox Series X. God, their naming convention sucks.
I know
so much.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I'm
but
smart enough to know the difference, and I'm mad at everyone who went to Amazon or eBay and bought up Xbox One X's, thinking they're beating everyone. Like, if you can't tell the difference, then you shouldn't even be out here.
I know. Fucking getting shipping tomorrow. Well, that's not even out yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people are that like uninterested in what their kids do and like what systems they play on. They're like, "Mom, I need the new Xbox."
If you're willing to pay $500 for your kid and not find out you're getting the right thing.
When I was a kid, I had pictures, clippings from magazine, from the Sunday paper.
Yeah,
you knew
if
you're in my household, you knew what I was trying to get.
You were giving your parents a dissertation before they left.
Yeah,
they were ready.
Yeah, they came ready.
If your parents don't know what you want, that's your fault, homie.
Yep,
100%.
100%. I'm glad
we can talk shit on Xbox
that.
and Sony all day long, but nobody dropped the ball like Nvidia dropped the ball. Man,
I heard it was
3080. That 3080 might as well not even. I don't even think it's real. I think it's all a joke. It's a bad simulation. Get me out.
The 3080
take this headset off.
Was their Bitcoin offering, their initial coin offering?
I'm not. When I say it was seconds, legitimately seconds, it didn't even show available to purchase. It went from coming soon to sold out. That's it.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.
Guys, there's a problem with online systems.
It's been that way for a long time, and as an old ex-sneakerhead, it's been a problem for a minute.
Yep.
And bots have been a legitimate problem. To the point where it got me out of buying sneakers, right? Because once I lost my physical plug to get Jordans, and I went online, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game. And they actually say you have to order bots. You have to find a way to get bots if you want these things.
Yeah, I had that conversation tonight because me and another dude are like lock and step right now. We've got all like Octo Shop, all this stuff lined up. We got Discord servers. I got so much stupid shit to just buy something that I want to buy. And I told him, I'm like, dude, like, at what point in time are we just going to throw in the talent and like split a bot to get what we want? Because you can't beat it. Like, I can't beat it. No matter how hard I try, no matter how many links, how many people I follow on Twitter, no matter how many F5s I push, I cannot win. I can't beat them.
That's why
I'm super excited that I don't even have to worry about all this. In all honesty, like with me having to or with me not needing to get it, like because whenever I go to get it a year from now, I'm be like, hey, I'm gonna go to Best Buy right now. Pick up an Xbox.
Yeah, that's why when you said, hey man, we gotta line up at 6 a.m. I'm like, fine. I'd rather do that. I'd rather camp in a bad neighborhood in the dark than order something online in the comfort of my home and deal with that stress. Because while we were in line, the homies were in the group chat stressing.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 people trying and being like, it's not working. I'm trying to refresh, it's not working. And like, I think 2 of our friends got it, but Bastard Bob, who's a frequent a guest on the stream, didn't.
Yeah,
and it's like, fuck, man. Like,
I got an X from Amazon because like they didn't go live when everybody else did at
what a mess.
And I was like, all right, so I'm gonna get this queued up. I had the app going. it was like where you know if there's a 404 error on Amazon, you just get a puppy picture. So I was like getting all these different puppy pictures, and then I got word that like Amazon was about to go live, so I started to up it, and it like went so smooth. It's like, okay, it's available in cart. I had like 2 errors after one of my cart. It got through. I had everything like logged in,
Yeah.
and my cousin, who like I was really shopping for him, like he wanted it more than anybody. I'm like, dude, I got you. Like, rest easy. Like, it's there. Just shoot me the money whenever it ships. It's yours. Like, I don't need a.
You gave him the
like,
pepper
you're
pots.
good.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, like, and I told him because he's still trying to do the access. He was one of the guys that had the weird like
Yeah.
pre-qualification without the hardware. Like, I am not in the business of flipping that or trying to make any money off of it. If he ends up locking one down, if somebody needs one, like I will sell that thing for MSRP. Like, as shitty as things have been, it's hard. Like, I'm not trying to make some
I'll
money
give you
off that.
$5,000.
I got on Facebook and I was ranting Facebook and Twitter after we got back, and I was ranting like if you like bought one and you're trying to flip it, sure you're getting money, right? And
Yep.
but it's a really shitty way of doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's no morals involved. You did no work
Yeah.
besides being lucky, and now you're trying to double the profits as if you are Microsoft. Like you're an asshole. Like sure,
Yeah.
it's a hustle, quote unquote, but you're an asshole for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I said
Like,
I
these
called
are
that cop at the in the line an opportunist, which is not a good thing to be called. And
No,
he
it's
was
not.
like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, we're moving past the like you understanding that what you're doing is shitty when you're just admitting." Yeah. I hate it.
it sucks,
I hate
man.
it.
It
Scalping is the
sucks. It's
fucking worst. It doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, let me back that up. It makes a lot of sense because it's a way to make money. But I always have hated the idea of like I'm gonna buy a thing and then that I don't give a shit about. I'm gonna buy a thing that I don't give a shit about, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna make people that do care pay more than they probably can to get it
yeah.
because
Yeah,
I
man.
got it.
No, I mean Sarge is right. He said that he would wait, and like truthfully, I've tried to get the PlayStation 5 a couple of times just because it's like, let me check the box, make sure I got it. But you mentioned earlier, Caleb, too. Like, if I have that for when Horizon comes out, I'll be happy. Like, if I can get one before then, cool.
Yeah.
I have a 2080 now, which I mean I can run everything pretty much full tilt right now. But I would love to have the 3080 when Cyberpunk hits. So I've got like time to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, and like there's people I'm seeing in forums are like, yeah, my 980's on its last. Like, I'm like, you need that more than I do.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
you need that more than I do for sure. Like, I'm definitely not struggling over here to get it. Like, I want it. I'm anxious. It's a new tech. I'm really curious about. I want to install it and go through all those things. But
Yeah.
it just sucks. It's not great for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So the good thing about the Xbox though is it's not like the jump between 360 and Xbox One. So like yes, it's a bummer that like some of our friends aren't getting that Xbox, but at the same time it's not limiting you. Like
Now, yeah, you've got time where it's gonna be like
you don't get the you don't get the get ray tracing or like the upgraded tech inside the system, but you're not stop playing from your friends. Like Xbox
Yeah.
360 to Xbox One was a shitty transition because it was like, hey, that doesn't work here.
Yeah, you're
Good
playing
luck.
Battlefield 4 on your 360. I'm playing it on my Xbox One. We can't play together. That's not a thing.
Yes.
And now it's
Good
like
luck.
if you have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on your Xbox One and you have it on the Series X, servers are linked cross-platform or cross-console
Right.
generation. And like
So that's where this generation is going to be a very very good transition for all the people that are hitting this like obstacle of not being able to pre-order one right now. So it's so regardless of getting one or not or having the availability of it, we're all still going to have a good time with it because
Totally.
you guys are all going to get it and I'm not for like 2 years.
yeah,
And
it'll be
we'll
fine.
still be
You're-
fine.
You're set up, right? I didn't ask you when you came on, Sarge. Are you not getting anything this season? Are you going to wait a little bit for all of it?
I waited 3 years to get the Xbox One X or the Xbox One. So I
Yeah.
could definitely do
Were
it
you more
again.
PC before that though?
No, he just
I mean,
wasn't
No.
playing games
I played
much.
like League of Legends.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
about it. So
He's got a
And you said that-
$2,000 rig behind him that he built a month ago. So he's fine.
Oh yeah, man.
this big boy over here.
Yeah.
Is that
Big
what kind
boys.
of case do you got? I can't tell.
It was the Corsair.
Yeah, it looks good, man. I like the white for sure. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw that on the shelf. I was like, you know what? I'm picking that shit up.
Yeah, man.
You were like,
white case.
I'm a sucker for good aesthetics. Dentalicious Dentenstein.
I got the white Xbox One. I mean,
yeah.
I keep it white, you know.
Dentenstein and I had a whole conversation about like magazines and like specific magazines and their aesthetics and how like, oh, this one and like these there's a whole thing to finding an aesthetic. And like I'm super looking forward to that portion of my basement being finished next week when I move my office down there, when I get to build an office around my aesthetic instead of like trying to fit my aesthetic in a small room.
Yeah, man.
So seeing a case, like I've told several people, I'll buy a beer in a can. I'll buy a book. I'll buy so many things because what you put it in looks good.
For sure.
Sometimes that's literally how I pick something, is the design 100%.
Of it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Amanda and I went apple picking a couple weeks ago at Eckert's, and on our way out there was this small like local craft coffee place that was running a little like food cart where they were making coffees for people, but they had these big tall silver growler cans with like these really big floral printed matte logos or matte labels on them. And like I didn't need beans to make cold brew or French presses in, but I saw that and I was like, I'm buying this. One, because you're a small business and I want to support you. And two, this looks fucking good. And even if I don't use it right away, it's gonna look good in my kitchen. Like,
oh yeah, dude. When I built my PC back in February, my cousin who got me into it was like so pissed off. He's like, "Why are you spending money on making this thing look a certain way?" And I was like, "Dude, like, have you not been paying attention my whole fucking life? Like, my dad's legit been front cover of Truckin' Magazine and Mini Truckin' Magazine. Like, I did custom cars with my dad growing up. Like, when I was in high school, I was modding people's Xboxes and Xbox controllers and like painting them down and doing it. Like, that shit is totally my shit." And so the whole like marriage of power and aesthetic with PC building was something that I really lost myself in. And
for people in the stream, keep talking about it, but for people in the stream, I'm going to throw what his PC setup looks like into the stream so you can see it. It's a fucking aesthetic, y'all, and it's good. It's real good. Sorry, keep going.
Is it a whole mood?
Oh yeah,
it's a whole mood.
It's a whole fucking mood.
And so like,
and
I built the desk with my dad.
Oh, it's so good.
So like we did it all up, right? And like I had a good time with it. And like, is it the most like powerful, best thing you can do? Absolutely not. But I fucking love it. It's mine. It's got my DNA all over it. And like being able to do these
I'm sure
things.
It does.
It does. Like
gross.
A lot of fucking. Like I was feeling really good about myself until I saw Henry Cable do this himself. I was like, man, I probably look like a fat slob building my PC those nights.
Everyone does
all,
compared to Henry
looking like
Cavill.
I was fucking playing Deep Rock building this thing. I'm sitting there sweating and cussing,
Henry
trying to get these
Cavill's
corn dog
arms
fingers.
flexing while he's unscrewing things. I was like,
damn it, man.
Stop it.
I've never felt more unequipped for a job in my life after seeing him build his PC. I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like. Cool.
I've never felt more unequipped for my life as a person until I saw Henry Cavill. Just like, oh.
No, it's been a lot of fun, man. And I think that
got out here legit picking favorites.
It's a trap for sure.
It's a trap. It's for sure a trap. And you shared those pictures in August. Yeah, in August. And I was like, God damn it. I'm going to be spending money to do this eventually.
Yeah. The funniest thing that I've ever told myself was the budget for my PC when I first set out to do it, because I'm
going to spend this much.
Yep.
Your PC.
I built mine the night before for like $1,300 and went and spent $2,000. So
yep, dude, it's so easy.
Yeah, my $1,500 budget,
especially at Micro Center.
Yep.
When you're just sitting there looking at shelves full of shit, you're like, man, that sure does look better than the one I picked out. Fuck it, give me that one. Like, oh god damn it.
Micro Center is a candy shop for nerds. It's the worst. You walk in and it's like, I want all of it. I want everything.
It's like tech heaven.
Yeah.
The day that the 3080s dropped, I happened to hop online and I saw that they had like 12 in stock. That's all they had. Like, I just want to see what that looks like over there. So I hopped in my car and I drove by Micro Center here in St. Louis. And dude, if you're familiar with the layout over there, the line went from Micro Center well past the entrance of Target.
No way.
And yeah.
What?
You said in Brentwood?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
But if they only had 12, then why was it that long?
That's exactly what I was trying to figure out. Like, are people there just for moral support, or what's what's going on? Like, I legitimately pulled in where the Total Wine is.
Yeah.
I saw the line. And I just did a U. I'm like, fuck it. Saw what I need to see. And I'm getting
look,
out of here.
Chick-fil-A's over here, and I'm hungry.
That's absolutely insane. That's actually insane.
Yep.
4 years ago, I went to Target for a fucking 47-inch TV that was going to be like $250. There was 8 people in line. I knew they had 6. I said, "Fuck it, I'm going home." There was 7,000 other things on the ad, but I was like, "That TV's gone. I guarantee it." So I said, "Fuck it," and left. Like 7 people or 8 people, and there's only 6. I ain't going to chance it. Fuck it, I'm going home.
You did it right.
Even though they could have never gotten them, I was like, you know what? I ain't waiting 4 hours for this.
Like the FOMO and the zeitgeist happening right now, everybody wants to be a part of it. And like, even to Sarge's point, like if you don't need it right now, and there's really not a whole lot that you would see major benefit from, I don't think, currently on the console level, and even on the 3080 level. Maybe Cyberpunk will look a little bit better with ray tracing stuff at the end of the day. But like all the shit that keeps getting pushed back, film, movies, all this other shit, games. Next year
is going to be it's going to be a banger.
It's going to be a banger of a year, man.
Yeah.
And so who knows what that looks like? I think all these moves, like we still haven't even seen what Phil and his crew at Xbox is going to do with all the shit they've been buying, and let alone what you can expect from Bethesda. I think for me, the easiest take is you see all that shit on Game Pass very, very soon. And then I think the rest of that deal will come more into focus over the next few years for sure. My like hottest take that I can come up with, and I'm probably way off, anything that is remotely a live games as a service or live service will stay on everything. But anything that is like your single player focused story, I can honestly see that being exclusive to Xbox and PC.
Yeah, sure.
That's
they did say that they would like decide what platforms things are on a case by case basis, and like that does make me excited for the possibility that someday someone will start a game on their PlayStation that opens with Xbox Game Studios, which would just be wild to me that like people are talking about a console war, and like it's more likely that someone on a PlayStation plays a game with Xbox's name on it.
That'd be great.
Man, like
remember the first time you saw Sega and you won on a Sega?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's that moment.
That's that moment for sure.
Let me ask you guys like a hypothetical. So Deathloop obviously has been touted as an exclusive for PlayStation for a minute. I don't think that's the case any longer. If that is a deal that's being made right now, so this is where I want you guys to weigh in on. What game would they be asking for in return? Like if they were going to say like, hey, you can continue having Deathloop on the PlayStation, but we want this game to be available on Microsoft also.
Oh, what would they negotiate with? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
See, I would say my gut reaction initially was the show, and they already lost that exclusivity. So like, that's what happens when you are the only people that own the license for MLB, and the MLB is like, but everybody should play this, which is fucking wild. Cool.
Yeah.
So the question is, what exclusive, like Sony exclusive?
Yeah.
Would I want to come over?
Yeah.
All day Spider-Man, the Miles Morales, all day.
Spider-Man's up there, 100%.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would love that, because I'm just because I play Xbox more than I play my PS4. I would enjoy that.
And then that could potentially open some shit up for Avengers too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also a tremendously bullshit decision by PlayStation. Good job, guys.
Dude, how much money are they fucking losing?
So much.
If you open that shit up to another console as a DLC where you get all the fucking profits from it, you would make so much money.
Even if you got 70%, like most
people aren't buying your system to go play this fucking game. But they're playing this game that they would love to have Spider-Man on. They're not going to spend $400 on a system just to play Spider-Man. they'll spend $20 to play Spider-Man. I guarantee it.
Yeah, if Spider-Man was DLC for Marvel right now, that was $20, I'd do it.
$20.
Yeah,
and that's the
Everybody
shit
would
that,
buy it.
nobody that likes that stuff is winning in that scenario.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's not for the fans in any way.
no,
Exactly.
it's the same shit that Activision pulled with Destiny, with a full year of strikes and content and gear being only on PlayStation. Like, come the fuck on. And like, it got so messy right before they split away whenever cross save was activated, because I would be moving my character over between Xbox and PlayStation and be like, oh, you can't use this gear, it's not available. I'm like, well, fuck you. Like, now my light level's down when I play on Xbox, so I don't want to play over here. Like, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Again, PlayStation
if
literally said the words, if you want to play games, we think you should play them here. Which is
Right.
It's like, did you not see the gate? Let us remind you. This is the gate.
Right.
And we are the keepers.
Yep.
Like, if PlayStation had games that I would want to play, I would still not buy their system. Just for how they fucking, like, just because of the practices that they have.
Yeah.
There's no game, there's nothing that I like about PlayStation. That's why I don't buy one. It's not that I'm like, oh, Xbox is better. No, I just don't do it. But like, this makes me even happier in my decision of not spending money on anything that they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Microsoft's like, everybody play us. Play our games anywhere.
PlayStation's like,
PlayStation's like,
only here.
Yeah.
Why don't you look at me when you talk?
You can
to
only
me?
play this
like,
in your
nah,
living
though.
room. We know that we know it's not in your living room, so you can't play in your living room. Like, what? Hang on, what?
I will say this honestly. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, I would not own a PS4.
And I will say
That's
honestly
a lot
right
of
now,
people.
I will say honestly right now, if it was not for MLB The Show, I
Yeah.
would not own a PS4. And now MLB The Show I can have on my PC.
I don't know if it'll stay,
So your
especially with
PS4 for
Cyberpunk around the corner, but like right now, for me, my current game of the year is Last of Us 2.
Sure.
And my second favorite game this year is the remake of Final Fantasy. So I mean, like, as much as I dog on Sony, like, they've got some good fucking stories to tell. And it
They
sucks
do.
because I feel like they've got me, right? Like, they've got me in a spot that I don't want to be got by them when it
Sure.
comes to, like, I don't want to miss out on those stories. Like, I don't want to buy a PlayStation 5. I legitimately don't want to buy that console, but
they've
I
got
care about
hooks that they're
They got
going to use a
And I-
Crusader Kings theme. Yeah.
and I've told people, oh, go ahead, Tech.
I think I'm gonna get it just because, but I don't care about it, right? Like
Right.
I'm like how Sarge is. I'm gonna get it when I can walk in and okay, I'll just get an extra $500 burning in my pocket or however much it'll be at the time, and then I'll get it. But I have no reason outside of that, I mean, I definitely want the Miles game, but if it comes on PS4, I'm super Gucci.
Yeah. I think that I've been
Super
talking to a few
Gooch.
people. They're like, what should I get? Like, what do you think I should get? Like, should I get a PlayStation or should I get an Xbox? And it's always Xbox, right? Because I think that at the end of the day, like, well, I've heard that Sony's got some really good games, which is true. Like, that's a true statement. But Microsoft can get better at games faster than Sony can get better at services.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I think that at the end of the day, like, when you talk about how you stretch your dollar, it's the sense of like, well, would you rather spend your money on like 4 Blu-rays a year, or would you rather just pay for Netflix?
It's like, to me, you're right. It's almost become that argument. It's like, you could have PlayStation. I'll just use the metaphor I was going to use. You can have AMC Plus,
Right.
or you can have Netflix. It's not even that. It's HBO Max and Netflix. It already exists. It's HBO Max and Netflix. Like, you're going to get really good shows that take they're really good games that take weird takes on conventions that already exist in the genre. And like, those takes are going to be very good and very prestige stories you're going to get. But if you want to get genre, if you want to get macro, if you want to get, unknown names, even, like, most of that stuff's not going to show up on HBO. And Microsoft is like, play this game for free because it's part of your subscription, and like, people are discovering shit they didn't even know they liked because they're able to. I played Crusader Kings and Wasteland in the last month, and I played Crusader Kings for 12 hours in a weekend. And I've never played any of those games, and that game caught me like that because Game Pass was like, but here, try it. Why not try it? And if
So
you
Game
can
Pass
offer
Ultimate
that, like,
for a year is $180, right? That's how much it costs for. It's $15 a month, right?
Yes. No, it's
So
100.
that's
Yes. Yes.
so it's 180, and then it looks like most next gen games are 70 a pop, are going to be at least closer to 70 than 60.
Yeah.
So
That's 3
doing
games.
that,
That's 2.5 games.
you can buy like 2.5 games a year.
Yeah.
Or you can get Game Pass. Like my question really becomes like, if you have an Xbox console without Game Pass, like what is holding you back?
Who are you?
Sure.
Legitimately, like what's holding you back at that point in time?
Sarge
Because that's your live service.
Yeah.
And that's all these fucking games. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
And the crazy thing
I
is,
have
it's
180 games downloaded, so it's like $1. Like I'm paying $1 a game right now.
There's moments that happen over time where you're like, yo, like last year in September, we got like 3 games that were incredible on Game Pass. And one of those was Gears 5. And that game, as much as like it may not be my specific cup of tea, it was a campaign, multiplayer, a horde mode, and a user-generated content-based escape mode, all in one perfectly delicious box that just showed up on Game Pass one day. And if you had Game Pass Ultimate, you got the $110 version of the game and 4 days early access to it. Like it happens in waves. You have Game Pass and you're like, I haven't played anything for a minute, and then fall happens and you get that's what it was. You get Outer Worlds and Gears of War and a couple other games, and you're like, oh shit. Like I'm paying $10 a month for this before it was Ultimate, $15 a month for this, $180 a year, and I just played 5 games that are all $60.
Yeah.
I just saved $120 by doing this.
Not to mention now they've already included xCloud, and now the fall you're going to be getting EA Play
Access?
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, EA Access, sorry.
That's $30. So it's EA Play now. You were right. EA Access was what it used to be called. But yeah, you're getting all the EA games 8 months after they come out.
I would not be the least bit surprised if they somehow will do like a move that's like, hey, it's $15 for all of this, but for $19.99 you get Netflix 4K with it as well, or some stupid shit like that. Like I don't know. I could see them easily trying to bring like that full digital stream into it to get even more people on board with it.
They're already partnered.
I think Spotify makes a lot of sense too. Like, hey, we'll give you Spotify for $5, or we're going to include it with Game Pass Ultimate.
Yep.
Like we'll take the L there, and like whatever that is. Like I can see them doing some shit like that.
They've already partnered with Spotify and Discord like over the last year, where you get like 6 months of Nitro for free and 6 months of Spotify Premium for free, and it's like what do you lose out on getting Game Pass right now? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just and if you have a PC and an Xbox, it's the best value. Like I've played so many games on my PC because of Game Pass. Like I got a PC that could play games in March. I upgraded like right after the lockdown happened. One of the dense, huge supporters of the stream and of the blog helped me set up a couple of things to upgrade my PC, and like over the last 5 months, I've realized like, yo, when I want to play Sea of Thieves or Rocket League or Bleeding Edge, I want to play it on my PC. And like having Game Pass Ultimate initially was like, I don't care. And I upgraded because it was like, I got a PC now. And now I've got 150 games on PC and over 200 games on Xbox that I can just fuck around with when I want.
Did they already do the price? Do you guys know I know it's going up from 5 to 10 a month for PC only, like if you don't have a console? Have they done that yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Because I mean, even then at $10 on PC, like that's still a hell of a value.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's still over 100 games.
I think Ubisoft Plus is 15, and I think EA Access is maybe $5, might be $5 on PC also.
EA Access is $5 a month or $30 for the year, which I've been doing the year for EA.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, which is nice because all the EA shit, like I'm not the guy that goes through the backlog and grabs like Madden when it comes to the vault in EA Play, but you get a 10% discount on everything you buy, and you get to play it a week before it comes out for 10 hours. So like, it's fucking solid. It's solid.
Totally.
You guys gonna do the xCloud? Are you guys gonna get into it?
So I ended up picking up a Fire tablet back when they had their like back to school sale going on. And I got the Fire 8, which probably, I mean, I was on the beta for iOS, and that went a certain direction, but I switched back over to this Android tablet for it, and it's maybe a little bit smaller than what I would like to have for that. Looking back on it, the 10 I think was maybe $50 more if you wanted to have a dedicated space for it. I haven't really been going places, so I've only been using it at my home network, but it's really good. It works out great. I've got it propped up, and I'm just using a Series or an Xbox One S controller with it. But I also have a clamp for a phone if it ever comes to the phone that I have.
I've used it on my phone. I've got the Galaxy S9, and it's not bad. I mean, to be able to play like Forza Horizon 4 wherever I want is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Like when I went to my wife's grandparents' house, they had Wi-Fi, and that was about it. I couldn't take nothing with me, so I was like, "Fuck it." Played on my phone for a little while. There's a little bit of back lag, but I mean it's in beta, so
yeah. I think eventually I'm gonna get the Razer Kishi. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that the controller that pops on? Tech?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like streaming media and all that. I think it's really cool. And I was doing remote play for a few years with my PlayStation on certain games. And I had Stadia when it first came out, and I quickly returned it. But that moment testing it out, like I saw potential in the technology, and to see it coming with a library that I've already got a lot of investment in makes the most sense. And I think, would I be like trying to get into a crazy like Destiny strike on my phone or tablet? Maybe if 5G gets to be where we want to see it. But like right now, I think a game like Wasteland, from like a streaming standpoint, there makes a lot of sense. Something that's not so twitchy is pretty good for it. The latency's not terrible, but I don't know if I would be trying to hop into like a battle royale on my phone.
I wouldn't
doing that.
Nope.
You know,
No.
I played PUBG on mobile once and was like, nope.
PUBG on mobile when it dropped was really fun though. It's and that's actually wildly maybe more popular than the actual game at this point.
The mobile version?
Yeah.
Totally.
It's because there's like a billion people with mobile phones. Yeah, exactly.
No, I think it's again, the fact that this doesn't cost you anything extra.
Yeah.
When they could have easily said this is a $20 service or a $9 service, whatever it would be. They just said, no, it's already there for you waiting. Just hop on in wherever you're at. I think that there's something very profound about that. And it's cool for somebody to think that they have an Xbox now, even if they just have that phone streaming it, right? Like that's a really good feeling for somebody to that maybe they don't have the money to set up for a console right now, but they want to play with their friends, or they just want to hop in like a party chat or something, like to be able to be included. I think it's pretty cool.
I agree.
It's dope. It's dope. Well, this has been a fucking delightful conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think that this podcast has become a small omnibus in and of itself. So, in wrapping up, we wrap up the show with everyone's bounties, which is kind of what everyone's been up to that they want to share real quick. It used to be us sharing what we were watching, reading, listening to, or playing. And like sharing all of those. Now we just pick one that we have to tell people about. Bobby, what has the Sawft-Clothez Sommelier been up to that he has to tell people about?
I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic. And
rips, dude.
That game's so good, man. Like I heard a lot of buzz about that game, and I'm a big sucker for just exploration games. Like I love Minecraft a whole lot, and that grind that comes with it is here. But then you got like weird horde stuff and like RPG elements of like skill trees and character build outs, and you can have different classes that go into it. It's a straight PvE game, and it's got a really satisfying loop and a few different mission structures that you can do. I picked it up on sale. I think I got like the deluxe version for like $25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's got kind of an Astroneer vibe aesthetically to it, I think, and the way that it looks. The soundtrack, it's somewhat generic, but does a pretty good job in parts. But multiplayer and like finding people and matchmaking is awesome. And they even do a really good job if you want to play this solo. So I think that Deep Rock Galactic is something you should check out if you've got the means to play it.
It's very good. I think everybody in this current podcast has it.
Yep.
Fun fact, Bobby, if you just turn
Only one of us is scared of it. I'm just
kidding. If you just turn the music down and then throw on a Yacht Rock playlist, it's incredible. Like,
all right,
playing with the boys coming on while you're like going down and digging up ore with a bunch of dwarves. It's very good. It's very good.
I'm about to hit 25 with I'm playing as a scout, so I'm about to be able to promote somebody, and I think the game opens up in a really cool way once you do that.
Yep.
And
you get deep dives, which is
yeah, man. So I may do a quick run tonight before bed. I got to work early in the morning, but I like that game a whole lot.
Yeah, game's great, and it's cross-plat. So if you got it on the Windows Store on PC, you can play it with Xbox. It's very good. I think it might be just Steam on PC. I don't know. Anyway,
is it on Xbox?
Oh yeah, I've got it on Xbox.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It had integration with Mixer too, where like if people were watching you on Mixer, they could send monsters into the game.
Oh my god, that was so fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Really?
Yeah, when I was streaming on Mixer, this dude's like, "Watch this," and sends like
the big
4
like
of
behemoths,
the dreadnoughts at us. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, you could spend the sparks on it.
You can play Xbox and PC.
Mm-hmm. If IRC, if I remember correctly, I believe it is definitely one of those games where you can. I know it's play anywhere on Xbox. So if you own it on Xbox, you can play it on PC as well. So yeah, the game's fucking dope. Ryan, you got something you want to share? Something new? Has anything new happened for?
I've been playing the shit out of
yes, this
Red
is
Dead
important.
Redemption.
Yes,
this is very important.
This is very
for me.
Important.
I got Red Dead day 1 and then didn't play it at all, and now I've been addicted to the freaking multiplayer for the past 2 weeks.
To the point that you're playing the multiplayer. To the point that you're playing the multiplayer solo.
I'm playing the multiplayer by myself. I'm currently playing it right now while we're podcasting.
It's great, dude.
But I'm doing a full-on, and this is really weird for me too. I'm doing a full-on finding all collectibles, because being a collector on online, you make so much money, like turning in full collections of stuff. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna get everything. And I'm like,
I guess beans
7
aren't in
hours
season right now.
Nope. They haven't been in season for like a year now.
He hasn't soyed them beans in a minute. Yeah,
I haven't soyed them beans in a while. I think the last time I soyed some beans is playing that dubstep remix whenever you were in the chat, because there's a dubstep radio on fucking Farm Sim.
Oh my
like, what?
God,
dude, it was bopping. but man, I'm enjoying Red Dead a lot.
Yeah,
like doing all like the random missions with like the moonshiners and the collector, and it's
kind of wild how our group has picked that shit up.
Yeah, it's a good way of playing GTA without playing GTA. You get the free roam and the fucking shit up without griefers, and nobody can fly around in a freaking motorcycle that can just shoot 1,000 rockets at me. Like, I can at least put up some kind of defense against somebody.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Tech, what do you got? Anything you want to share? Games, movies, shows, books, music, otherwise?
Games, not so much. It's still like, the regular me, Apex. But movies, I went to the movie theater last night, and first of all, it was fantastic. There was like 10 people in the theater total. Felt super safe, and of course, I'm invincible. And 2, the movie Tenet is absolutely one of the best Nolan movies I've ever seen.
I cannot wait.
It's one of the most deep, thought-provoking, confusing. It's like the quintessential what is Christopher Nolan. This is it. This is him doing him without limitations.
I asked my cousin, he just saw it a few days ago. I'm like, can you tell me? He's like, I got to see it like 3 or 4 more times.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
It's one of those movies off tops. that you have to see at least three times to understand.
Sure. All right.
Was it cool being back in the theater?
It was absolutely amazing being back in the theater, dude.
Especially a theater with space.
We did a little date night last night, and we actually felt normal. And it's like, this is the first time this year that we've actually felt like normal. You know,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
did it feel like being on an airplane that has nobody on it?
It felt really good, dude. There was nobody. There was literally 10 people in the entire theater, dude. Like no one was on their phone, no one was talking, no one was next to me. It was actually my preferred method. Like there's parts of this pandemic that I like. Okay,
yeah,
I like curbside delivery. Like less contact with humans, the better for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if we can keep that energy going into 2021, I'll be fine.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. Yeah, I love it. For me, my bounty to share is the show Dark on Netflix.
Damn, I need to watch that.
Yeah, so season 3 just came out, and I found out only when it came out that the creators planned on making 3 seasons from the beginning and had the whole story written, and it's focused on time travel. And like when I find out for the first that a show has got like it's bookended before it's shot, like this is how it's gonna go. We have a story we want to tell, and then it'll be over, and then it'll be done. That's like immediately something to get into. Breaking Bad did the same thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Halt and Catch Fire did the same thing. Like it just saves you from a lot of the bullshit like Walking Dead, where it's like, at this point they're making it up as they go. So I dove into season 1, and having been a German student in high school and college, watching it in German, I've realized I don't look at the subtitles very often, which is really cool to like kind of practice like understanding that language again.
Cool.
And also it's tremendously acted, and it's just so busy. And I don't mean busy in the bad sense. I mean busy in like, you get 4 episodes in and you realize there are people you've already seen that are people that you're meeting again, or people that you're meeting who you realize are people that like are in multiple. It's crazy. It's about time travel. It takes place in like 1954, 1984, 2019, and 2054. And like, it's not different generations only. There's like a specific gate under a nuclear plant that like is causing time travel anomalies without giving anything away. And it's wild. I've
heard people say it's what Stranger Things could have been or should have been.
Yeah, sure. I would understand that. Yeah, it's like Stranger Things if it was to use the title of the show, dark. Because Stranger Things is dark, but this show has the opening moments of this show is like, okay, this is what I'm signing up for. It's real.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Sure.
I like it a lot. Yes.
Nice.
It's very good. Before we wrap up completely, before we say goodnight to the podcast, because we will play games after this, we do a fun fact. Ben is not here, so he cannot find it, but I did pull it up. Our fun fact section is called our Smurf Fact. We have a jingle for that. It sounds like this.
Smurf Facts, oh yeah.
I found some video game fun facts. I'm going to read 2. They're a couple sentences each. Don't worry, I won't hold you for long. The first is titled Nintendo Comboy, C-O-M-B-O-Y. South Korea had banned Japanese cultural imports during World War II, and that wasn't actually lifted until 2004. That didn't mean South Korean gamers didn't get to know Mario. Hyundai, the car company, Electronics, distributed Nintendo's product in South Korea, but the NES was called the Hyundai Comboy. And then that was followed by the Super Comboy and Comboy 64.
Right on, Hyundai.
Get
that's
it.
Tight.
Which is
tight.
Fucking wild to me. I had no idea. And then for Fallout fans the world over, the satisfying ding that rings out from the Fat Man nuke launcher, or when a Fat Man nuke is launched in Fallout 3, is actually the lunch bell from Bethesdasoft Works cafeteria. The Fat Man itself is modeled after an actual, real-life nuke launcher that was made called the M388 Davy Crockett Tactical Nuclear Recoilless Rifle, which was made in the 1950s. And if that hasn't sunk in yet, think about the fact that we made a gun that fired a nuke, and nukes have a lethal radius of like a mile. So imagine being handed one of these had they been made, and just being like, "You're fire it up and turn and run, motherfucker, because it's gonna be hot."
God,
it's amazing humans have survived to this point. This current time, absolutely included. Yeah. I'm gonna share this link of fun facts because there's some crazy ones. There's a Barack Obama ad in Burnout Paradise. Just fucking wild. Games are crazy, y'all. Games are crazy. But
that's nuts.
Thank you everybody for listening. Bobby, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Yeah, it was great to be back.
We'll have to have you on more often.
It's been a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were like, we should do this. And we waited a year. We'll make it happen more often, I promise.
And we'll get you guys over to the casual hour sometime.
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely.
Not very casual.
If you bring 4 more people, it won't be very casual. But
perhaps it'll definitely not be an hour.
Yeah, we have to set aside like a weekend day for that. 100%. But thank you for coming back, Bobby. If people wanted to find you or the things you do or the content you make, where would they go?
Yeah, man. As I mentioned, the Casual Hours podcast that I do every week. You can find us on anchor.fm/the casual hour. We're also on Twitter as the Casual Hour. I have been pretty inactive on my video content just because I don't want to like sit in front of a screen all day and then do work in front of the screen at night for a hobby. But Lumberjacksmack is what I go by online, and you can find some stuff on YouTube where I do some quick look videos and just more like hot takes on stuff. But yeah, man, the Casual Hour is kind of it these days. We record every week.
That's awesome. Thank you again for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We will do it more. This conversation was a blast. Also, I feel really good because I had a really tall beer that was 10%. So it's just a good night. Sarge, where can people find you, my friend?
Sergeant Sodium on Twitch and Instagram and Twitter.
Dope. And Tech, where can people find you?
Yeah, Tech Supreme on everywhere. YouTube, Tech Supreme, Twitch, Tech Supreme, all that good stuff.
Dope. Perfect. You can follow anything the website writes or posts at nerdybits.com or follow them on Twitter at nerdy_bits. You can follow me at Lubwub. I haven't done this in previous episodes, but I will now. Thank you to Notaker for our theme song, which is a Monster Cat song. Notaker is from St. Louis. I communicated with him personally about a year ago today to ask if we could use this song on the podcast, and we're doing it now, so that's dope. So yeah, Thank you to Notaker for Into the Light, which is a song from one of his EPs. I don't remember the name of that. I will find that out. So we have a next episode. That song is dope. We will be online playing something after this. Who knows what? I just accidentally somehow changed the screen. Who knows what it is? But thanks for listening, everybody. And be safe, wear a mask, Black Lives Matter. And you know.
And sorry, Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do better. Terrible. But anyway, thank you everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.